Greetings, members, one and all of the Salivation Nation. The outlook for silver in 2022. Let's explore. I did a video not too long ago about the outlook for gold in 2022, and I would be remiss if I didn't do the same for silver. Silver, though, has disappointed a lot of people this year, but perspective is key when you think about silver and even gold. You take a look at where prices were before the pandemic and the years before. Silver has performed pretty much in a stagnant manner for a lot of the time that this channel has been in existence. You know, many of us came upon the scene here after the big rise in silver prices in 2011. There's been a lot of attention drawn to silver because during that time, there's not been a lot of attention paid to cryptocurrencies and especially Bitcoin. Even though Bitcoin itself started in 2009, we really didn't see a lot of activity for it until much, much later. Now that it has performed to record levels and has surprised a lot of people, cryptocurrencies in general, and Bitcoin in particular, has done quite well and has drawn a lot of people out of the precious metal space. But it has also drawn a lot of people out of traditional stock market assets and investing. With the ease of investing in terms of apps and the like, to be able to make trades and stuff digitally, that's really where things are at these days. Physical silver has taken a back seat, and of course, the paper representation of silver has taken a back seat as well. We saw a lot of run to the safety of cash in March of 2020 when the pandemic was amongst us. And so what does this mean for silver in 2022? We have to kind of take a look at the recent past to kind of understand where it's going to go in the future. The recent past being earlier this year with the silver squeeze movement. Could something like that happen again in 2022? Potentially, yes. But I think it's going to take a different organic flow of interest in the metals that happens somewhat outside of a movement on a particular social media platform. I think it's going to take an organic flow or a natural market force of a price move in the positive direction for there to be a resurgence into the silver markets and the physical silver markets by more stackers, because it's really getting to a point again where silver is becoming unloved, like what we much saw in the period from about 2014 until about 2019 or so, when we saw the silver prices kind of move in positive territory, but sub $20 level. Now it's sitting just above $22 an ounce, and many people thought it should have gone higher by now, considering that 2021 was the year of increased inflation and coming to terms with non-transitory inflation. And we could continue to see that kind of pattern make its pace next year in 2022 with inflation. That inflation will put pressure on the precious metal space in general, and I think in silver in particular, to where we will see silver's price in the spot move a bit higher. But we don't know exactly how high it will go, and we don't know what other factors are going to come into play that could push it down or up. I did a video recently about a disaster scenario for silver. And that disaster scenario revolves around the spot price actually lowering while everything else continues to climb, and other factors that come into play may actually work against silver. If that's the case, and that's going to frustrate a lot of people, and that's going to in turn create quite a conundrum in the space, and where prices could go below $20 an ounce. And premiums could stay fairly high. If premiums stay high, which I suspect and predict that they probably will, and they will not fall in line or move in tandem with the movement of the spot price, that's going to frustrate buyers too, which means that people may abandon silver in 2022 in the physical form. We may see some buyers in ETFs and the like and movement in that space, and people can move in and out of the silver market as they want or desire to. But keep in mind that there are derivatives there, but the weight of the premiums may be a big problem in 2022. What will that mean? For those who want to get in the space, for those that want to get in the silver space in 2022, in terms of the physical silver, they must be very cautious. It's a much different market then in next year in 2022, which is just around the corner, than it was pre-pandemic. Inflation is a huge driver for premiums rising, as well as increased demand for certain products like the American Silver Eagle that has really driven up premiums to abnormal levels. One thing is for sure, these high premiums are going to stay with us. They are the new normal. They will be the new normal, especially in the silver space because of inflation. They're going to affect gold as well too, but silver especially is a metal that I think we have to take into consideration the evolving marketplace for silver. It's tough, but for those of you who have bought silver in the past, it's a good time to hold on to your silver holdings because the premiums that you paid for in the past, especially before the pandemic, would be now considered a bargain. It's a new normal. This has been predicted accurately by some bullion dealers, and some of them that I have interviewed on this channel, and others that have been brokers have talked about this as well. These premiums are with us to stay. They're the new normal. And you also should consider that at a time when the silver prices were abnormally low, the premium percentage in some cases were much higher because of the mere cost to produce these things, especially when you had $4 and $5 silver and you had to pay $7, $8, $9 for a Silver Eagle. The percentage-wise was much greater then. And because there's been times when fuel costs were up and silver prices were down, and we may see some of that again coming soon. History oftentimes doesn't exactly repeat itself, but it does rhyme, so they say. And that is, I think, going to be the case to some extent with silver. We have some new things involved, such as the competition of cryptocurrencies and sexier investment vehicles where people can really make out like bandits with a click of a mouse. But they can also lose a lot too. Silver is a metal that I think, in a sense, given all of what's going on with technology and where we are at, you must look at it from the vantage point of history. I believe silver will preserve your wealth, but it's going to take a little bit more of a keen sense of trading in order to make that happen. In other words, utilizing not just dollar cost averaging, but smarter, more intelligent dollar cost averaging in 2022. The new reality of premiums is here to stay, and people can put blame on various different sectors of the economy for those premiums. I believe it's unfair to place all of that blame on the bullion dealers, but certainly some can be placed there. But there's other factors and things and blame that can be placed as well in terms of premiums. But one thing is for sure, the outlook for 2022 for silver is going to be mixed. In this video, I'm not going to actually predict where I think the prices of silver are going to end up by the end of 2022. I'll save that for another video coming next year. But what I will say is that silver will continue to frustrate people in 2022, but silver will also excite others. We could see drastic moves in the price of silver, one way or the other. But I'm not predicting that. I think that we will see the price of silver relatively stable and move one way or the other, in one direction or the other, at a stable pace, which in a sense would be kind of boring. And I say that that's a relatively bold prediction in terms of the stock, in terms of the market for silver, given that there's a lot of things that could move drastically one way or the other in the economy. The stock market, for instance, what the dollar is doing, debt, deficit spending, still the unknowns of what our government wants to do in terms of spending money and the like. And some of that spending of the government, they want to put towards some of these green sector technology jobs, green energy and the like. And that kind of thing is going to have an effect on silver if that passes, but it's going to take a while to implement. And so silver is an unknown variant at this time. And another unknown variant is the coronavirus pandemic. How is that going to be seen in 2022? That's something that has frustrated a lot of people too as we try to get back to normal. I believe we will. We're going to have to live with the reality of this pandemic in one way or the other. And it's going to have to normalize. We're going to have to normalize this thing. Society must move on. And I think in a sense, even those who want to impose all of these restrictions upon us realize it too. They can't do what they have been doing in the past. I don't think that's going to work in 2022. So it's something we're going to have to adapt to, and we're going to have to overcome it in that regard. Otherwise, silver offerings will continue to be noted with different designs that are going to be released in 2022. Frustrations with the U.S. Mint will continue in terms of their bullion silver products, but also their collectible silver products. But that's notwithstanding, the metal itself will continue to be something that will frustrate us. It will surprise us. It will excite us in other ways. And so all we can do is roll with it. One thing is for sure, the historical outlook for silver is something that should not be ignored. And there are things that are going to remain constant with silver, and that is that it will be a store of value of one form or the other. And I believe there are ways to be successful with silver in 2022. What does that success look like? The same as it has in years past. In other words, if you're stacking the physical, you must understand the premiums that you pay. You must understand that it is not a short-term proposition, and you must understand that in order for you to come out ahead, that means that you must simply break even. That's right. And what does breaking even look like? It means adjusted for inflation, the price that you pay for any given ounce of silver that you stack, not necessarily collect, that ounce will essentially be steadfast in what it is, so that when you go to sell it, you don't necessarily make any money on it, you break even. And that's really what it's about. Silver is a vehicle of wealth preservation. And it's a vehicle, and getting to that wealth preservation status is going to take a little bit more ingenuity and discipline in 2022, I believe, than it has in years past. Are you up for that discipline? I don't know. For me, what is my strategy for 2022 in stacking silver? It's rather minimal. I did stack in 2021, surprisingly. I will look out for deals and bargains on certain pieces that are outside of my collecting network, and I will just keep an open mind for silver in 2022. That's what I would suggest to you as well too. Keep an open mind for silver. Keep your mind open as far as where it's going to go in 2022. Be diligent. Try not to be jaded. The best way to not get angry about silver is to be smart about it and what you accumulate and how you accumulate. Never be pressured into buying anything, any investment vehicle, or any hedge of that sort. So there you have it. Let me know what your thoughts are for silver in 2022. I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch this video. And I will post a link to the end screen of this video, my outlook for gold in 2022. And I will hope that you will stay tuned to this channel for more commentary, more news, and for more fun here on this channel. I would like to extend a multitude of gratitude to you all for taking the time to watch, and to encourage you to please rate, share, comment, and subscribe.